You are doing something completely ordinary, washing a dish, walking to your car, lying in bed in the dark, and out of nowhere, with no warning at all, it hits you. A moment from 10 years ago. Something you said, something you did. A flash of pure cringe so sharp that you actually wince. Maybe you even make a sound out loud alone to no one. You did not go looking for that memory. It came hunting for you. The strange part is not just that you remember it. It is that your brain reached back across an entire decade, past 1,000 happier moments, to drag this one specific humiliation up into the light. And it does it again and again. The good days fade, the embarrassing ones stay loaded, ready to fire. But the real answer is far stranger than a brain that likes to torture you. This is not a malfunction. It is a survival system, one of the oldest you own, doing exactly the job it was built to do. That ambush of old shame is not your mind breaking down. It is your mind protecting you in a language written long before you were born. Let me explain. Start with the ambush itself, the way the memory arrives uninvited. It has a name. Psychologists call it an involuntary autobiographical memory, a memory of your own life that surfaces without you trying to recall it. The researcher who studied these more than almost anyone is a psychologist named Dorothy Berntsen at Aarhus University in Denmark. She had people carry diaries and record these memories the instant they popped up, in the middle of ordinary life. And she found they are not rare at all. They happen to everyone, many times a day, usually while you are doing something automatic and undemanding. The exact moments your mind is free to wander. These memories slip in when your conscious attention loosens its grip, when nothing in the present is loud enough to hold you. The door swings open, and whatever is most charged comes through. So the next question is the important one. Of all the moments in your life, why is the embarrassing one so often the one waiting at that door? To answer that, you have to understand that not all memories are stored with the same strength. Your brain is not a neutral recorder. It decides, constantly, what is worth keeping and what can fade. And the thing it uses to make that decision is emotion. A neuroscientist named James McGaugh spent decades studying this. He showed that when an experience carries a strong emotional charge, your brain tags it as important and burns it in far more deeply than an ordinary, neutral moment. There is a small, almond-shaped structure deep in your brain called the amygdala, and it acts like an alarm and a highlighter at the same time. When something frightening or threatening happens, the amygdala fires and it tells the memory systems, "This one matters, save it, save all of it," in high definition. This is why you can remember exactly where you were during a moment of fear or shock, while the calm Tuesday before it has vanished completely. Now think about what embarrassment actually is. It feels emotional, but underneath, it is fear. Specifically, it is social fear, the fear of being judged, rejected, laughed at, pushed out of the group. And to your ancient brain, that fear is not small, it is enormous. Because for almost the entire history of your species, being cast out of the group meant death. Your ancestors did not survive alone. A single human on the ancient savanna, with no tribe, no one to watch for predators while they slept, did not last long. Belonging was not a nicety. It was the difference between living and dying. So, evolution made the threat of social rejection feel almost as urgent and as dangerous as a physical attack. That is why embarrassment hurts the way it does. There is research from a neuroscientist named Naomi Eisenberger showing that social pain, the sting of being rejected or excluded, lights up some of the same brain regions as physical pain. Your brain does not draw a clean line between a wound to the body and a wound to your standing in the group. To it, both are threats to survival. Both get the alarm, so the picture sharpens. An embarrassing memory is a moment your brain flagged as a serious social threat and stored at maximum strength, because to the deepest part of you, it was not just awkward, it was dangerous. And here is why it keeps coming back. Your brain does not replay these moments to punish you. It replays them to learn from them. Every time that memory surfaces, your mind is running a quiet review. What went wrong? What rule did I break? How do I make sure I never do that again? The wince you feel is the lesson landing. It is an ancient teacher using pain to make sure the lesson sticks. But here is the twist. The system is brilliant, but it is also out of date. It is solving a problem you no longer have. Your brain treats every social mistake as if your survival depends on the group's opinion of you. But you do not live in a tribe of 30 people where exile means death. You live in a world of millions, where the person who witnessed your embarrassing moment 10 years ago has almost certainly forgotten it entirely. The threat that felt life or death was, in reality, nothing at all. And there is a beautiful piece of research that proves just how wrong your brain is about this. It comes from a psychologist named Thomas Gilovich, who studied something he called the spotlight effect. The people he tested felt certain they had been seen, judged, and remembered, the spotlight blazing on them. In his experiments, he had people do mildly embarrassing things, like wear an awkward shirt into a room full of strangers, and then asked them to guess how many people had noticed. But when Gilovich asked the others in the room, almost no one had noticed. Almost no one remembered. The spotlight the embarrassed person felt so intensely was, for everyone else, simply not there. This is the cruel trick at the center of your cringe memories. You are the only person still in that room. You are the only one replaying the scene. The witnesses moved on years ago because they are starring in their own private movie, wincing at their own old moments, just as convinced that everyone remembers theirs. Everyone is haunted. No one is watching. So look again at that flash of shame from a decade ago. It is not evidence that you are flawed, or that the moment mattered, or that anyone else remembers. It is evidence that your brain is doing something extraordinary. It is love, in a way. Anxious, outdated, overprotective love from a system that has been trying to keep you in the tribe since long before there were tribes. So the next time a moment from 10 years ago ambushes you and makes you wince out loud, do not be cruel to yourself about it. You are not broken. You are not still that person. You are simply hearing your oldest guardian replaying an ancient alarm for a danger that passed long ago. The truth is that the only one still in that room, after all these years, is you.